Hi there, welcome to episode 4 of UK to the USA. I think since the last time we spoke, the kind of process has been encapsulated in the last kind of 48 hours. Some real highs and kind of success and progress, and some just really irritating lows and frustration, um, and kind of real minutiae of this whole move, which just is so time consuming and it's just so frustrating. Um, and I guess for a lot of people, it's at those points where they just think, is this really worth it? Now, obviously, it is. We look at the bigger picture, um, but to be brutally honest, there's two or three um, occasions this last 48 hours where you're just scratching your head and thinking, does it really need to be this difficult? So, episode 4 is about kind of the reality of the situation. And if you do choose to go down this route, then please do be prepared for what appear to be quite simple parts of the process, which are made really quite difficult for a range of reasons, whether that's due to somebody on the other end of the process not quite understanding or misinterpreting what you're asking, and the time scale for that to liaise and communicate is just drawn out, or whether it's more simple things like the internet not working and things reset themselves halfway through a process. There's just so many little frustrations that you have to navigate your way through. So if you're doing this in isolation, I guess it's more difficult because we're doing this as a family. It's just about bouncing off each other and really trying to keep that energy, that optimism, and that goal in mind. So let's just take you through. It might not sound much from your end. You might be thinking, well, why all the drama? But hopefully, what's come across in the first 3 episodes is that we have made some quite life changing decisions. So, what we're kind of ready for is this kind of accumulation of all this energy and time and just this vision of where we want to be to start to make that reality. So, when you start to get to a place where you think, hopefully, some of that frustration and energy has been well used, you're kind of ready to reap the rewards. And we're still really yet to see that. So, just to run through, and again, I know I keep referring to this, but it's true. We will have future episodes where we'll be talking about the actual E2 process in more detail. I'm conscious I'm firing forms and terms and codes and forms and all these different things across, and there's probably many viewers thinking, what on earth is he talking about? Does this apply to me? Does it not? So we will be going through that whole process in a more detailed, less pacey way. But I think the importance of these episodes in a moment is just to kind of capture our mood and kind of what we're working on that particular day or that particular part of the process. So um, the business plan has been finished. We've spoken to a UK accountant who isn't sure whether they can represent us because it has to be verified by CPA, and CPA apparently is an American certification. So a good friend of mine works for a accountancy who will be willing to help us out on a more reasonable basis than we've been quoted from the States. But his advice was he's quite happy to do it. I'll do it in quite a quick time and probably do it for half the price. But unfortunately, he doesn't feel that the UK accountancy equivalent will be sufficient. So that's something we'll have to bounce back to the US. And so I'm going to wait on a response from Laura, our attorney, who's reviewing our business plan as well, which has also been finished. So, there's been some successes. It's important to highlight what's going well. So the business plan is good. We've got some clarity over the CPA, so that's in her court, and we're waiting for a response on that. Mentioned in previous episodes about my trip, we're going next week, or I'm going next week to Florida on Tuesday. We've also mentioned about a number of things we're doing while I'm over there, the itinerary, the timetable that was mentioned in detail in episode 3. There's been a bit of progress with that. So we've had some communication with Clarion, which is the school over in Oviedo. Brilliant. The principal there, Dr. Windish, the administrator, absolutely superb, brilliant. Just got back straight away, no problems, in response to any queries that we had. So that's been another real success. So we now know what we need to have done in the UK. We need Scarlett's weight, height, blood pressure recorded, and that needs documented for me to take across on a form. And then need her vaccinations, her record of vaccinations, because on the other side, when I get to Florida, I'll then have to complete by going into a walk-in centre a particular form, which I'm just trying to find on my list of things because I do think it's important that you know what that is. Apparently, it is called a FL680 form. Apparently, you can't enrol somebody in the school unless one of these is completed. So what I now have is a list of things which Scarlett needs. So it's all the vaccinations that she's had, and all you do is you go in the walk-in centre, you approach a member of staff, and they have a particular form, and they transfer the details from the UK, so Scarlett's vaccination history, along with the medical details I mentioned before. They complete the form. You then take that form to the school with other documentation, and that allows them to be enrolled. So that bit is a little bit clearer. The other things they need is the lease agreement I've mentioned and the utilities. So that part is much clearer. So that's good. We've mentioned probably too, it's investing in the US business. So I've chased up today the LLC, which is the document which you need to register the business. It's like a limited company in the United States. So I have a confirmation that we're back the first week of July. So that's another good success. Progress, great. Little victories, fantastic. One of the big frustrations has been a form called the DS-160. This is their US portal for people who are applying for a non-immigrant visa. So it's a US portal, you create a code, you create a password and memorable question. So you have to do this for me, Scarlett and Christina, and what you do is you complete, there's about 8 pages worth of detail, which is very repetitive, which is quite frustrating, but it just kept kicking me out. So you would do a page where it asks you to save, but as opposed to save, and it put you back to the beginning, and it's really intermittent and unpredictable. So I must have put my work history in about 17 times literally this evening. Start and end date and experiences and roles, responsibilities for the last 5 years, of which I've had a number of roles. So to do that 17 times has been just extraordinary. But that's been done now. So again, patience is a virtue with this, because you either say, look, I'm not doing this, and you give up on it, or you just have to persist. So tonight has been a lot of patience as far as that particular part of the process is concerned, but that is done. I think finally, last couple of bits, again, frustrations. I've mentioned a car a lot in the first couple of episodes. I started to reach out to people in Orlando who work for Kia. We've had a Kia before, very reliable cars, and that's something that's in our price range for over in the States. So Kia Orlando, who we've passed before, know where the garage is. So when I go over, I can just kind of nip in and hopefully take a car for a test drive. So you go to the website, you see the car that you like, that you want to test drive next week, hopefully, and the little bar comes up in the corner regarding an online chat assistant. So you start to relay the information, what you're looking to do, when you're looking to arrive, the key questions I've got, which were things like, I can only buy a car when I know what the insurance is going to be. So can they refer me to somebody who can give me the insurance quote first before I proceed as far as making a formal offer for the car? Because I'm paying cash, what's the best deal for the car? Because I won't be there till August, is there any way that I can purchase it and that they can store it? But you're relaying all this information, and then the internet, Sky, for some reason at the moment, is just an absolute nightmare. So you're halfway through a conversation with this great guy from the States called Oscar, and then the internet just gives up on you. So then you have to refresh, wait 20 minutes while the internet is reset and comes back on, and then start the conversation again with somebody else. But anyway, that is again persistence, looking at the end point and thinking it's all worth it. And I've got communication now with a great guy over there via email, who is now looking into the questions I've asked, and hopefully by the time I have the next episode, the next communication with you guys, I'll have some updates on those quite important questions. So hopefully it is coming across. It's been an interesting few days. Still committed. You've got to laugh sometimes. England played last night. We're terrible. Work today was a challenge. You're up early at the crack of dawn. My wife Christina's working so hard with her business. You're trying to make sure that Scarlett, our daughter, is at school and happy and doing her homework and getting results in the tests. So there's an awful lot to balance. But as long as you remain committed, which we are, then we will get there. So thanks for tuning in to the 4th episode. Episode 5 will be up in the next couple of days. By this time next week, I will be in the United States, and there'll be far more, probably shorter version episodes coming your way, maybe 30, 60 seconds. I tour Orlando, visiting schools and visiting car garages and visiting apartments. It's going to be a great week for me, for us, and hopefully you guys as well. So speak soon. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Cheers. Bye.